think about where your plumbing is actually going to be run. My gut reaction was, oh, hell no. I'm not living in a van. The key for me was actually having a desk that I could sit in for a long time. Really, truly a sense of freedom that I've never felt before in my life, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I am Chad Quinn at Bearded Vanlife, and this is my rig. She's a 2022 Mercedes Sprinter 170 extended 4x4. The overall layout of the rig was designed by myself, completely in AutoCAD. I'm a interior design space planner by profession, so this was right up my alley. And Ross Monster Vans out of Longmont, Colorado did the build for me. So we're standing kind of in the kitchen area. It was very purposefully built to kind of hit the triangle, the golden triangle of the kitchen: fridge, sink, induction. The fridge is a isotherm Cruise 200. So it's a dedicated fridge and dedicated freezer. Having a dedicated big freezer is very nice in the van. Obviously the sink is a product that I've used in almost every residential design I've ever done. It's a company called Kraus. Sink, faucet, soap dispenser. This little silicone base is really great for travel and doing dishes and things like that. And then we have a Summit 2-burner induction cooktop, all electric. There is no gas in the van, so no propane in the van whatsoever. Corian countertops, instead of what you typically see, maybe a wood or maybe a some type of other surface. These are actually solid surface countertops. We also did a little extra detail for my interior design days where we call it a waterfall edge to kind of frame out the cabinets inside the space. Standard cabinets up here. Most of this is just basic food storage for me. So it's pretty much just a pantry, these two cabinets here. And then these cabinets are just basically your standard utensils for the kitchen. So these two cabinets underneath the sink, my sink runs into a gray tank underneath the van, so 17 gallons of gray water that also my shower runs into as well. Inside this cabinet, the lines are plumbed directly in the center of the cabinet from the sink. Definitely something to think about, because now I can't put a shelf in there. I can't really use the space. It kind of becomes unusable. So think about where your plumbing is actually going to be run underneath your sink. That's, I'd love to change it. It's not necessarily a huge issue, but definitely affects how the inside of the cabinet gets used. This other cabinet here is maybe one of my favorites in the van. It's a full-size trash can, and trash is often overlooked when you're designing a van or when you're building a van. It's usually an afterthought. Oh gosh, where am I going to put my trash? And you see trash bags hanging on backs of seats and off of door handles. And so we have a drawer dedicated to a full-size trash can, and it's highly, highly recommended. The front of Althea, we got standard, basically stock seats from Mercedes. They're both on the factory swivels. I've got a lot of gear behind the driver, so it rarely spins, but the passenger seat spins all the time. Above is this kind of cool, let's call it, curtain system. A lot of people with this upper shelf, storage shelf, which is absolutely amazing. I have so much gear up here and extra stuff. It's a great storage option, but a lot of people will have a kind of a slider to be able to do blackout curtains or something along the edge without having to do any front window kind of covers as well. So what I believe it's Canyon Adventure Vans, created this product where the actual curtain goes behind the seats. So if you still have the factory swivels, you can do it at night, still have your curtain up, and then have your seat and be able to use it inside the van. So it's a kind of a great little setup. Maybe not as efficient from a heat or cooling perspective if you actually put the window covers in the front and on the sides, but it still blacks it out and does a really great job. The other thing we've done in the front is the in-habit design mats. So these are custom mats, or actually they're stock mats for the Mercedes Sprinter that they have. Super easy to clean. You can kind of take them in and out. They actually are kind of cushioned, so very comfortable to drive and walk on. Yeah, can't say enough good things about the In-Habit design mats. So it was kind of end of 2019, early 2020. I was living in Seattle at the time. In a kind of previous job, I was doing home renovations. Basically, we were flipping houses, and I was living in Seattle at the time. It was very cost prohibitive to do that type of work in downtown Seattle. Seattle's very expensive. So a friend of mine said, how do I get to other cities but still play in the Pacific Northwest? And somebody suggested a van. And my gut reaction was, oh, hell no, I'm not living in a van. And then he told me I can design my own. And the designer in me said, oh, okay, now we're talking. And basically, once I did a little research, realized what the opportunities were, I was all in. And then as soon as I contacted Ross Monster and the van was ordered, the game was on. And so it was a long waiting process to get the new van from Mercedes, literally a year and a half. My first email to Ross Monster Vans was in, I think, August of 2020. I did not pick up the van until May 1st of 2022. So almost 2 years. We waited a long time for Mercedes to get this rig, but the design was done along the way. And yeah, I love the way she turned out. She's perfect. So now we're in the back half of Althea. This section was really dedicated to my desk and to a full-size shower and composting toilet, and then some additional kind of unique special storage to myself. I work full-time from the road, oftentimes sitting and editing photos for hours upon hours upon hours. Now doing a little video work, which, you know, is pretty new. But the key for me was actually having a desk that I could sit in for a long time. I didn't want a bench. I didn't want a cushion. Shout out to those who do benches and cushions, you know. But we ordered a third chair from Mercedes and built literally kind of a custom setup for my desk. So I can actually sit here very comfortably for a long time and work hours upon hours on my laptop. So it's a very unique setup. The shower was also a key element of the van for me, something that was going to be a must. It was a must-have in my kind of list of options. So it's basically 38 inches by 24 inches. It's a massive shower. It has a pretty unique shower head as well. The shower head's made by Nibia. It's actually owned by Moen, so it's Nibia by Moen these days. But it saves about 50 to 60% of what a standard shower head uses in water. So having 40 gallons of fresh water on board, I can probably shower in under 2 gallons. I use the shower all the time. Inside the shower is a airhead composting toilet. Typically in the van world, our options are airhead or nature's head. For me as a designer, the airhead composting toilet has a much, much smaller footprint, therefore was easily the choice for myself. Back here is basically a hanging closet. Got some puffies, ski coats, etc., etc. And then down below is actually a full-size safe to take care of all my gear and equipment when I'm on the road. So bolted to the frame of the van. It weighs about 100 pounds. So yeah, have fun taking that out of the van. The whole van, the whole setup is all run off this Firefly system. So no light switches in the van. I've seen too many horror stories of backlit buttons or backlit switches. And so when the design concept kind of came about, I knew I didn't want to have any buttons or switches in the van. So everything is run off of the Firefly system. So it's a simple screen. It's all Bluetooth. I can control it from my phone or from the Firefly screen. The very back of Althea is the bed and the garage below, which we'll get to. Being a 170 extended, obviously the 170 wheelbase, but the extended version means it's 18 additional inches on the back end of the van. So my bed's pretty good size. It's actually with both flares on both sides of the bed. It's almost a queen this way, which I can sleep this way, and then it's almost a king lengthwise. So it's definitely a good size bed. We've got a 24-inch TV here, gonna have tied into Apple TV, watch a little YouTube. 2 cabinets up here, basically house all my clothes for the most part. Above the bed is the Nomadic 3000 AC unit, 12 volt, easily the best AC unit on the market. Flush mount, very, very, very efficient. Can run it completely on the electric on the battery system. And the battery system in Althea is a full Victron system. It's 600 lithium amp hours of batteries, and I've got a 3000 watt inverter, 2 or 3 charge controllers that basically control the van. Don't have any solar up top, and we'll look at that on the roof when we go up. But I do have 2 portable 100 watt Goal Zero panels that I can charge on the ground, and we'll show those as well. But basically, the way I charge the system is through my second alternator, and that charges basically the 600 lithium amp hours of batteries. My life in the van, getting started in the van, it was an interesting process, to be honest. I'm 44 years old. A lot of people out here that live nomadically are considerably younger than myself. But to me, it was an opportunity to do some things that I had never done in my life. See parts of the United States that I've never seen before, take some pictures of some places that I've never seen before or traveled to, and really create some experiences. I was in a position in my life, I was not married, I have no kids. This is my life. This is what I chose to do. And I'm absolutely having a blast living my life out here on the road. It's incredible. Really, truly a sense of freedom that I've never felt before in my life, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The process of like kind of building out the van is crazy. There are a million, van tours on YouTube, and we're filming one right here. And I watched them all. Along with my design background and that information, I was able to build a very, I think, intelligent floor plan for myself in Althea. The van's perfect for me. I love it. I wouldn't change a thing. But I think what happened was the day that the van was done, May 1st, 2022, I rolled it off the lot at Ross Monster Vans in Longmont, Colorado. Didn't know what to do from there. What did it actually mean to live a life on the road, and what was I supposed to do? And now I've been on the road 7 months. It's been incredible. I've gone through the ups and downs. I've figured it out. I feel much more comfortable on the road now. But these past 7 months, I've actually been pondering this thought for a very long time, as I think this information didn't exist. So I've gone back, my photography background, now I'm learning some video stuff, and I've created a new show dedicated to what it actually is to live a life on the road full-time as a nomadic traveler. It's on YouTube, it's up right now, it's called Life on the Road. Yeah, check it out. The garage was extremely important in the design of Althea for me personally. I pretty much mountain bike and ride in the summertime, and I'm a diehard skier in the wintertime. So Althea was purposely built for winter. And so we are in the winter months, though we are in beautiful Arizona right now, so it's not quite cold, but everything's set up for winter. So my ski rack is gonna be full here in a couple weeks. Got my first set of skis on there. It'll hold probably 2 or 3 sets of skis on here. These racks are specifically designed to pull out. This rack typically houses my mountain bikes in the summertime. So a mountain bike and a gravel bike can fit on this tray. Right now it's got ski boots and all my backcountry gear. On this side of the tray, it's basically dedicated to storage. So the goal was to, well, the original design, which kudos to Ross Monster for changing this. This is one of the few things they changed in my original design, was to do a custom wood cabinet where the poles were gonna come this way. And for the price that they were going to charge me for the custom wood cabinet, the owner said, go buy some Yeti Go boxes. We'll design everything around those. And they're fantastic. This is easily the better design of what we did. So it's designed for 9 Yeti Go boxes. So we can actually stack a third up here up the top. And I can get 9 all the way around, all the way to the back of the tray. And it's on a 500-pound slide. Both slides are 500 pounds. So it's super efficient for storage. If you got a big item, you can take them all out. If you got small stuff, you can load them up and fill them. It's a really great option. Inside this cabinet houses all of my water in my systems. So I've got 3-stage clear source filtration, 40 gallons of fresh water, and then also is my heat and hot water system. So AquaHot is the company. It's got a pretty advanced heat system in the rig. I've got 3 separate heating zones. I can turn them on and off independently, and I can change the temperatures independently. So it allows me to really control the inside temperature of Althea, specifically heating this garage space to make sure water stays warm, the batteries stay warm while I'm out skiing and adventuring in the snow. This side, again, houses all the batteries. Pretty simple, but full Victron system, kind of completely set up. Outside, I've got an outdoor shower, just kind of some simple gear storage. The RB Components pockets for gear storage. This is a park tool to be able to work on the bike in the summertime, which is really great. Can hang the bikes, do any maintenance that I have to do on them. It's really an efficient system. And then also down here, we've got the ARB onboard air compressor. So I've got a connection point here in the back. I've got a connection point underneath the hood. So we can air down the tires for Althea. I can air up bike tires, whatever needs to happen through the air compressor. So it's a great setup. So we're standing on the roof of Althea right now. So the base rack is an aluminous double loop rack. I've got a 50-inch light bar from Casey Lights on the front, and then I've got 2 spotlights on the side and 2 spotlights on the back for the garage, also Casey Lights. Up here, we've got a Max Air fan. We've got the Nomadic 3000 AC unit. Above it, obviously just a Yakima box. And then in front of us, we've got the Roam Adventure box. It's a 90-liter box sitting on their base platform, which is really great. Highly recommend it. With a custom Starlink mount setup. So this is the first gen Starlink, not the mobile Starlink. So we've built kind of a custom stand for it. And then when it is in stow mode, it is wired down through the box, and it stows perfectly on this piece of foam that we've got. I can close this box. It's wired down through the walls, and the router sits in a cabinet inside Althea. So pretty good setup. I do have to come up here to set up Starlink. It's not terrible. The stand works really, really well, and it's pretty efficient. On that side of the roof rack, no solar up here whatsoever. As a professional photographer, I use this space oftentimes to shoot, where I've got 2 or 3 tripods up here at any given time and taking time lapses, taking photographs. So this space is highly valuable to me. And yeah, it's about 8 foot by 6.5 foot, 6 foot. I've slept up here 20 or 30 times underneath the stars. It's pretty amazing. Guys that are my age at 44 years old, it is commonplace out here to see guys my age. It is what it is. And older and younger. Like, there is such a mix of not only ages, demographics, ethnicities. The diversity side of van life is really quite amazing. And honestly, it's not ever looked at or it doesn't become something that others look at necessarily. I'm camped in a spot right now with some 55-year-olds all the way down to some 20-year-olds. So, like, again, age really kind of fades away to a certain extent in nomadic life. You're gonna go to these big van events. They happen all the time throughout the summer and winter, where you're gonna get a diversity of age that's gonna go from 20 to 70, and you will feel comfortable no matter what. Thank you for watching my van tour of Althea, and let's mention where Althea came from. Althea is a very popular Grateful Dead song. Althea is a Grateful Dead van. We've logoed out the van, took all the Mercedes logos off. She's got Grateful Dead logos all over the place, but that is where Althea has come from. You can find me on Instagram at beardedvanlife, beardedvanlife.com. You can also check out my photography company, which is Bearded Image, also on Instagram. And then please go check out the new YouTube show. If you're interested in van life, if you're interested in what it means to live a life on the road, go check out the new YouTube channel, Life on the Road, and we'll see you down the road.